I'd like to invite up Prasad Surpaneni, SVP and Chief Information Officer at UNFCU and co-executive sponsor of UNFCU's Global Sustainability Program. And of course, welcome back Carlos Calderon, President and CEO of UIS-FCU, for their final thoughts. Welcome and thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom. First of all, I would like to recognize UNFCU Credit Union for the leadership in the sustainability journey for the entire credit union movement. And thank John Lewis, UNFCU CEO, and Pam McNoney, UNFCU's EVP, for hosting the summit today. And express, of course, our appreciation to Liz Philippe, Tom Kurian, Patricia Mercado, Patrick Seiler, and the entire team who made this event possible. This is a lot of work that goes through months in meetings, so there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Today was a great day for credit unions at the United Nations, and indeed, just like the daily events here, it was an international affair. What was apparent to me was the diversity of our speakers and the scope of their engagement in the cooperative movement. So fascinating and inspiring to hear from the leaders of Brazil's remarkable movement and the work they have done to engage the communities and all of the stakeholders in the process. Learning about initiatives such as the MasterCard's project of planting 100 million trees is encouraging. The commitment of the credit union industry is strong when it comes to sustainability, according to the NCUA, and it was wonderful that the Honorable Rodney Hood could join us in person and share his perspectives, vision, and commitment to sustainability and leading by example, as he said. Credit unions are resilient in their hometowns as first responders and as providers of much needed community services. We bring hope at the local level, planting the seeds of equity, justice, and inclusion, as we learn from the Puerto Rico and the Barbados experience and the various other case studies presented today. Insight from the UN brought climate justice closer, while the world faces with a range of issues from nations struggling to reduce their carbon footprint to rising inflation, the war in Europe, and the global energy crisis. I was moved by the message of hope, but only hope through action and purpose seen here today, and the engagement of our younger generations, and the opportunity for credit unions in attracting and serving those groups, which are the future. Sustainability is good business, but we cannot stop here. So a call to action to all participants: take your sustainable program just one step further. Whether you start in the very beginning or you have a program on the way, whatever it is, please take it one step further and report to us before the next summit next year. We heard about the wealth of resources available today to help credit unions large and small start or advance their sustainable journeys through our partners such as Inclusive, Delphi Group, Fiserv, the National Credit Union Foundation, Self-Help, among others. And speaking of excellent resources, I will now turn the mic to Prasad Surapeni to inform us about the upcoming United and Sustainability Network activities. Prasad?
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you again for sponsoring the summit again with us. It's really great to be here. It's great to be back to be at UN for this summit after hosting this for a couple of years virtually. You know, it's hard not to get inspired from UN, one place that's trying to sustain the planet for us, knowing that there is no planet B. It's easy to host the virtual events, it's easy to host the in-person events, but it's incredibly hard to host these hybrid events. Thanks to Tom, Patrick, an army of volunteers from UNFCU and UIS who really put their work and effort into making this really a successful event. Thank you to the participants here, coming from all over the world, Brazil, all the participants, I can't help but beam with pride how far we have come. I remember the first event we held here, like with 20 people. Now we're talking more than 50 people here and a few hundred participants participating virtually. It's incredible. But I also can't help but beam with pride again. What started as a 5-people green team, from bottom up in our organization, with guidance from Pam Agnon, turned out to be a global sustainability program for us. And when we realized what we have been doing is making an impact in our organization, we wanted to take that to the next level. We wanted to amplify the impact. How can we make this not just about us, just about the entire credit union movement, knowing that 4,500 other credit unions can do the same thing what we are doing and amplify the impact. And that's where the United in Sustainability Network started. And as you guys have been seeing, and this is a growing network, and we're gonna make an impact collectively. I know so many speakers talked about this morning. You may feel one person, one organization cannot do much, but when we collect our resources, the impact is just amplifies. We heard from Director Ahmed this morning. It's easy to be discouraged knowing the leaders are not taking action. It's inaction, but there is no room for pessimism. We cannot give up hope. As Himaza just said, there is hope in the air, even at COP, among the young people. I'm really heartened by what I heard from Stacy and Himaza about how much value the younger generations are putting in about sustainability. And I'm really hopeful this can be turned around. And, we owe it to the generation. I know, again, Director Ahmed said, we borrowed from the future generations, and we owe it to them to pay it back. And, it's time to be action now. And it also, and we learned so much, learning from ABCs of ESGs to how to educate, engage, and be transparent, and inspire and take action. Sustainability is central to the mission of the credit unions. We know that the service is central to the mission of the credit union, but sustainability is just an extension. We heard from Director Hood on that one. But really, at the end of the day, just Chad mentioned, he's proud of how many people participated today. But he also said his heart breaks for all the people that couldn't participate today, that didn't know about this great work we all have been doing. It's really about how do we take it to the next level, right? How do we take the United in Sustainability Network to the next level? How do we spread this message? How do we tell this to 20 other people that could benefit from the work we have been doing? It's all about that. It's about growing this network, amplifying the magnitude of the impact we can make to really save the planet here. I really urge you to participate in the network calls, and we have a network call planned for February. The invites will be going out really, really soon. But I really, really urge you to participate and make your voice heard. We can all learn from each other. And Tom mentioned this morning, we open sourced everything that we have been doing. We can learn from Brazil. We can learn from Barbados. I'm so inspired by Kevin, what he said this morning. But we can really learn from each other. I think that's the whole impact. That's the whole point of this network. I really urge you to participate and the upcoming network calls. Again, thank you. Thank you so much for participating. And all day here, all day virtually, it's not easy, but hopefully you got something out of it. I'm going to turn it over to Tom. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you, Prasad. Thank you, Carlos. And for all your leadership, and thank you for the boards, our Pam Agnon, Yima Gordon, and UNFCU President and CEO John Lewis, who joined us here today. We truly want to thank everyone who participated today, and either remotely or in person. And special thanks to the outstanding speakers. I mean, really incredible insights we gained. And of course, to our sponsor, United Nations Environment Program, for allowing us to participate here. To all the UNFCU and OAS FCU credit volunteers, I can't name them. People are thanking me as if I did anything here. Other than it's really this army of people. Liz, who coordinated all these events, and all the speakers. Thank you. And as Yuma said, we all have a role to play, and as credit union associations, to build together, to localize the UN SDGs, and really just do what comes naturally to us, as throughout this presentation noted. Of course, we will end this. I'm optimistic and hopeful as we end this session today. That the role credit unions can play and naturally do fill in the financial services sphere. So thank you, everyone. Goodbye. Thanks.
Just one
farewell.
second.
Oh, 1 second.
I just
Oh,
want to give out a shout out to Liz. The Herculean effort it has been. Without that woman, this would not have been possible.
Thank you very much.